There was a young man in little gray sneakers who had a little money and wanted to buy speakers. He went on the web to see what was in stock, but he wasn't so sure what was good and what was not. He read lots of forums, the comments and reviews, and asked his audio friends, which one should I choose? He read every article. He asked all his friends, is there a certain speaker that you recommend? After searching for weeks, he finally found one that suited his taste and suited his funds. He added to the cart and spent all his money. He was super excited. He hopped like a bunny. The guy was so eager he could hardly wait. He said to himself, UPS better not be late. The speakers arrived and came right on the dot. He turned on his camera and began to unbox.
Video a year or so ago telling Klipsch, I'm ready for y'all to make a good subwoofer. You falling behind SVS and Rhythmic and Sue Research and so many other brands. Even Yamo, which is a company from Klipsch, makes good subs. And what's Klipsch doing? And now, for a while now, we've had the RP, the new premier line of subwoofers. This one is the RP1200. The 12 size is what this is. There is a 10, 12, 14, and then 16. I opted in for the 12 in this review because I think it fit my room the best, to give you guys the best idea of what I think about it. So I've been waiting for Klipsch to make a sub for a while, and a lot of you guys think I hate Klipsch. I do not hate Klipsch. I do not hate Klipsch at all. Not even in the slightest. I think they're great. But their subwoofers have not been. I will say that. I've never been impressed with a Klipsch sub in comparison to the competition. But now I'm here today to literally, all what I think about is out the window. We're starting a clean slate with Klipsch and their subwoofers. I want to hear if this thing is good. Of course, I have specs for you. Talk about the differences between the old model and the new model. Maybe compare them to the current competition. But this is going to be an overview video. I will actually be giving, a general demo of this sub in this video, but the review video will come in a few little short days. But I'm going to listen to this a lot including in this video, and give you guys my true honest opinion about this subwoofer. I do want to say this. I bought this for $9.99. This is again the 12-inch version. And they have an option on Amazon where you can either buy the sub for $9.99 or you can buy the sub with the wireless kit for $9.99. Why would you not get this? Now, I know some people don't like wireless adapters because it may add latency. It makes it hard to calibrate because of the latency. But I opted in because I also want to see how good this is as well. This plugs into anything that has a WA2 port. So anything from Klipsch, Yamaha, Mirage, and I think Energy, if they're still around. So it'll plug into any of those. So there is a wireless kit that I will also do a little review on too, to see if this is worth picking up on your existing Klipsch sub or one that you're looking to pick up now. So we'll talk about this here a little bit later. So the RP1200 is a 12-inch sub, obviously, as it suggests in the name. A lot of different things are going on, including a new amplifier design. These are Class D amps that they're using in their subwoofers. They're using a little bit better cone now than what they were using before, but it still holds that signature copper color. You're never going to lose that with a Klipsch subwoofer or speaker for that matter. And now their pegs that hold on to the grill is also that color, because a lot of people who buy Klipsch are not going to have grills on any of their colors. So now even the pegs are a similar color to the cone. It's not exactly the same, but different material, so different color. But just looking at this subwoofer, you can really see a lot of different changes. For example, the most obvious difference, there's two. One, all of their subs in this line have slot ports, vented slot ports on the front that are heavily rolled or heavily flared. And that tells me they're paying great attention to how the air escapes the sub itself, making sure that there's minimal turbulence, also known as port chuffing. It's going to be down to a minimum. I'm going to test that out. Usually you can hear it at loud and low frequencies. I'm going to try that out and see if this has any effect. But this also helps with placement. It's very hard to get a subwoofer in a good spot, but it helps if the port's not on the back. This is on the front, so it allows for a little bit better of placement if you have to put it up against a wall. That's excellent. That's one of the biggest changes that I've noticed just from looking at it. The second thing that I've noticed, even just from the pictures, is the size. So it's not tall, but it's deep. This kind of reminds me of SVS subs, or actually more so like monolith subs from Monoprice, where they're deep more than they are tall. This is interesting too, because now when you put this against the wall, it's going to stick out pretty far in your room. So keep that in mind, but all this depth kind of tells me this thing is going to play pretty low. I think we're in the teens. I'll get the specs back up on the screen if I haven't showed you guys already. So a deep cabinet, not very tall, and the laminate around this is really nice. I don't see any seams peeling or anything like that. It looks like it'll hold up for a while. So the design has been taken into account too. So I like what I see so far. Pretty good surround, should be a pretty good high excursion driver. They say it's a high excursion driver in their spec sheet, but looking at the surround, it does look like it will be. And it does look pretty fast as far as how quickly it moves and stops moving. So I have a lot of ways to test that out. Now, the only thing on the front besides the grill and the pegs is your status indicator. I believe it glows green when it's on and red when it's off. So it may distract you whenever you're watching something to have a little light, depending on how bright it is. But some people just put black electric tape over top of it, or you can just color over it with Sharpie. I'm not going to do that to this. Other than that, this is a very clean looking, very modern looking sub. Let's rotate it to the back and check out the new amplifier and how the wireless adapters connect to it. I'm not sure how well this comes through, but I'll give you guys some clips of the amplifier itself. Really cool volume and crossover knobs here. They're huge, first and foremost. But on the top, there's a magnifier. So a lot of people look over the top of their sub to turn the volume or make an adjustment. Now, it's not, people put numbers on the plate itself, but they're above the plate on the dial, and then the magnifier makes them a little bit easier to see when you're standing over top of them. That's a clever trick, and I think it's useful for a lot of people. So your knobs are for the gain, which is the volume, and then the low pass, which is your crossover here. So for me, I'm going to put it on LFE, meaning I'm defeating the crossover built in here, and I'm going to utilize what my amplifiers or my preprocessors have for me. And then volume goes from 0 all the way up to 11. So usually you want to put it at the halfway mark. Let's just call 6. We do have a 5.5 here. We'll call 5.5 as the middle point. So our phase, we have a switch from 0 to 180. We'll leave it on 180, which is also known as normal. And then power, we have auto, on, and off here. Standby is what they're calling it. So I'm going to leave that on auto. And then down below our connection. So we have 2 RCAs. We have a white and a red, so left and right, or you just plug it into the white one if you're using one single LFE. And then to the left of those RCAs is where you plug in your WA2 adapter, which is what we have the wireless kit to try that. That's how I'm going to use this up, is the wireless kit. And then, of course, our power plug, and then a selector, depending on where you are on the road, you can change it from 110 to 220, depending on your outlet. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this plugged in and take a look at it with some power, and we'll play a demo or two. So there's a good chance you won't be able to hear this, but I'm doing a frequency sweep from 15 hertz up to 120 hertz. I have the wireless transmitter in place. Make sure you check the review for that because it's pretty good, but I'm making sure that this is the spot that I want the sub. I know when I moved my big sub over there that it sounded exactly the same, so I'll play around with placement with this one since it's much smaller, but so far it seems to be performing the way that that one did in that spot. So I probably will leave it there. You guys can see how deep it is, which really isn't too bad. The depth of this is probably how far you should have your speakers pulled off the wall normally. So they probably will be in line with each other if you pull the speakers out the correct way. But it is a pretty deep sub, you guys can tell. But it's not that big, and it's not that heavy. I think in the 60 pounds range, so it's not too hard to move. It does have some like rubbery feet on the bottom, so they do very well with staying in place on my wood floor. But right now we are running that frequency sweep, just getting things moving. And I like what I hear, and I like what I see. There is a lot of movement in this driver, and it's very quick. That's very impressive to me. And then this port here, there is a little port chuffing going on towards the very bottom end of the frequencies. But that's nothing. Every ported subwoofer is going to do that. Otherwise, it's a very quiet sub. All I hear is bass. So I like that. It's rattling everything in the room. My door handle is rattling against the little wall back here. This little frame is rattling against the wall. So bass heads love that kind of stuff at the end of the day. So I'm excited. I'm going to play like a little movie clip real quick just to end the video. But the full review will be this weekend, probably on Sunday. We'll see. Today is Friday of the making of this video. So I'm going to sit down and really hammer this thing for the next 3 days and then listen to it on Sunday one more time and do a review for you guys. But I don't know. So far, it sounds better than the previous generation. So if you're interested in this, make sure you stay tuned. The description down below will have a link to the 1200. There are 4 options in total, the 10, the 12, the 14, and the 16. I'm reviewing the 12 for you guys. What I have to say about the 12 will probably be very similar to the bigger brothers and the little brothers, depending on, power and things. We'll get into that. But I'm going to listen to this right now, watch some movies, watch some regular TV, and let you guys know. So again, description box will have a link to this. Make sure you click that, take a look at it, see what you think about it, and I will see you back here for the review video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already. And we will see you in the next video. K-Pace Guy out. Peace.
Is live. Initiate light cycle backward.
You got no chance, user. The bucks are faster than ours. Use the levels. Now this I can do.